Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane back again for another stock pick of the day. We are going to take a look at Nextera Energy today. It is a utility company coming to you a little earlier than normal today. It is Wednesday, January 25th. A lot of snow here in Michigan today. Actually, our VP sent us home for the day around 2 o'clock because it was snowing quite a bit. It's supposed to get, I think, 4 to 8 inches. I think we've got about four inches out there now. So a few more hours. So I was able to get one out a little earlier than normal today. It will be, like I said, Nextera Energy. And for any of you out there who have not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and take a moment and hit that subscribe button down, what's over here, maybe down below, and join me on this journey to financial freedom. Hopefully you are on your own journey as well. And if you are not on your own journey, I have a Webull link down below as well. If you use that link, I'll get some free stocks. You'll get some free stocks. Don't have to use a link, but it is a way to help out the channel. Obviously, hitting that thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell helps out as well. So let's jump into the video without any further delay. And if you want to know more about the company, www.nexteraenergy.com. That is their homepage where I pulled this information from. And they started out Florida Power and Light Company in 1925, right? December 28, 1925. In the beginning, FPL owned power plants, water facilities, gas plants, ice companies, laundry services, and even an ice cream business. In its first year, the company served approximately 76,000 customers in 58 communities and had a generating capacity of 70, I believe that's megawatts, 70 MW there. And if you do go to their homepage, you'll be able to find this interactive map. Actually, this shows all their locations across the country. Obviously, they started out in Florida, right? So they have a pretty high concentration in Florida, but along the East Coast as well, along the West Coast here, kind of scattered throughout the United States, couple in up in Canada, and then out in Hawaii as well. Nothing down that I saw in South America. So pretty much across the United States, a little bit in Canada. 60.7 billion in total capital investments, 84,363 jobs, 4.3 billion annual payroll, 1 billion annual property taxes, 162.1 million annual land payments, 14,773 employees, and 10 million people served, right? So large company, been around for a long time. Another one, like I said, 1925, that would have been just before the Great Depression. So they've seen it all come out the other side, wars, famine, 70s oil runs, the 2000.com crash, you name it, they've been there, seen it, and come out the other side. So I think they will be around after this current downturn we are currently in. Again, if you want to know more about them, here is their homepage. Go ahead and check them out there. Now over to the reason we are taking a look at them today. Down 8.68%. That is a huge drop for any company on any single given day. We are still talking about Nextera Energy, ticker NEE. It is out of the utility sector. Closed the day out at $76.62. 52-week range as low as $67.22, as high as $91.35. So definitely heading towards that 52-week low. Average volume is 6.1 million. Today's was 26.5. So higher volume than normal. A lot of selling, even though it looks like most of the selling was done in the morning, and it even rebounded a little bit and then sold off throughout the rest of the day. Market cap of 152.256 billion, so they are a large utility company, and a very low beta. So beta stands basically the volatility of the market is what you're looking at whenever you're looking at the beta. 1 is the market. Anything below 1 is less volatile. Anything over 1 is more volatile, and this one being at 0.49 is half as volatile as the overall market, which is very low volatility. PE ratio is high at 39.49, but they are actually a fast-growing company. Even though they've been around for a long time, they are doing a lot of capital expenditures and a lot of investments in renewable energy. So that might account for this PE, but again, you'd want to look at their statistics, see where they're at, as that'll show you your price to book, your price to sales, their margins, all that would be here. Financials as well. You want to go in here and look at their financials and see how they're doing. Is free cash flow growing? Is revenue growing over time? That sort of information is what you're looking for. Earnings per share is $1.94. Next earning date, or actually today was the earnings date, so that may be, you might want to look at their earnings date as well. Pull up their earnings date and see how they did. Did they miss? I'm assuming, based on this information here, a 8% drop they missed and may have missed in a significant way. Again, I don't know that for sure. I've not looked at their earnings report, but might be worth pulling that up. Forward dividend is $1.70. They are a quarterly payer, so divide this by 4. That'll tell you what the payout is. They have a decent dividend yield. Actually, it's a little lower than the average of the market, right? If you were an ETF, usually you're getting around 2.5 to 3%, especially now that a lot of stocks have pulled back. A lot of these yields are elevated right now. So this one does have a lower yield, right? This would not beat current inflation. And even during normal times, the inflation rate target is 2%, so it would barely beat the target rate. Ex-dividend, and I did own this company. I actually sold out of this company earlier, well, it's 2023, so late last year. I was going to say earlier in the year, but we're already into January of 2023. So in 2022, later in the year, I did sell out of this company for a nice little profit. I was buying them in the low 60s or high 60s here. It was low 60s. I think I was picking them up at $64, $65 per share. So before this 52-week range at $67.22 low. Their ex-dividend date was November 23rd. We'll see in a minute. I think they've already paid out their dividend. So if you bought them now, you would be in line for the next one. And their one-year target estimate, at least according to Yahoo Finance, where I pulled this information, not affiliated, just one of the sources I like to look at. They have a one-year target estimate of $97.49 for this one. So it does speak to some potential upside appreciation in the stock price. Now, I always recommend more than one source for information. So another one I like is stockanalysis.com. And according to the 22 stock analysts they have had take a look at this, they call it a consensus buy. They have a low estimate of $89.89, which it currently sits lower, much lower than that actually. And so if it dropped or came back up to their low estimate of $89.89, that would be a 17.5% increase in the stock price. So it's currently 17.5% below their stock price, right? Their average is $98.04. This was pretty close to what we saw on the previous page for Yahoo Finance, and that would be a 28.15% increase. And if it happened to hit their high of 115.5% or $115.50, that would be a 50.97% increase in the stock price, which I think that's a little unrealistic, but you never know. I mean, stranger things have happened. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed it would have been back in the 70s here, in an 8% drop on the day for a utility company. That, like I said, that's a pretty significant drop, especially for a utility company. They are pretty steady, and for this one specifically, having that low of a volatility that it dropped that much, very, very unusual. So I would definitely look at their earnings if you're interested in this one. Now, this is where I would typically show you my position. I do not have a position in Nextera Energy currently. It is one on my watch list. I would be interested if it dropped a little bit more. I know that's strange to say, but I definitely am looking for a little bit higher yield. Does have a payout ratio above my threshold, typically is 75%. This is at 85.60. For utility companies, I don't mind a little higher payout ratio because they are pretty consistent as far as growth goes, right? People aren't going to stop paying their utility bills. Typically, they would stop paying other things before they shut off their heat, electric, and that sort of thing. So they typically do have higher payout ratios, and they typically do have pretty steady growth, even though it's typically pretty small, right? Utility companies aren't screaming with growth, but it's pretty consistent. They have a dividend growth of 10.9 or 10.39%, which is nice to see. Their ex-dividend date was November 23rd. They did pay out on December 15th. So again, they've already paid out their last dividend. If you did buy them now, you would be in line for their next dividend. And it is 42 cents per share, right? 0.425, but I mean, that's a fraction of a penny when you get that far out. So that is really it for Nextera Energy. These are quick hitters trying to find value in the market whenever it presents itself. And in my opinion on this one, guys, I am not currently looking to get in this, but it is one, if you're looking for a utility play, it's a pretty good one. It is a large company, been around for a long time, doesn't offer much in the way of dividend yield, but does have nice growth at 10%. So if you're looking for a utility play, like I said, there's worse ones out there. This one is in what I would call maybe add it to your watch list territory and see if it continues to pull back. I am not going to be a buyer at this time. I am trying to fill out some other positions, but not a bad company. and not a bad one to take a look at if you're interested, like I said, in a utility play. As always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up, ring the notification bell. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think of Nextera Energy. Is it in your portfolio? Are there other utility companies you like better? Always interested to read your questions, opinions, suggestions for future topics. And I do respond to the comments on the day I post the video. I know there's some comments I'm getting on older videos now. And if I haven't responded to you, apologies. I do have a day job. I do have kids. I don't make any money on YouTube. So like I said, if you wanted to help out the channel, dropping a comment, hitting that subscribe button does really help me out. So go ahead and do that. And with that said, this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you in the next one. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm only sharing my opinion and investing journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risk. You can't lose money. To never invest any amount. Not comfortable losing. Always do your own research. Invest based on your situation, circumstances, and selected criteria, or seek the advice counsel of a certified financial advisor.